And we are recording. So I was asking you how many of these typing sessions you'd seen before.
A lot. Like I watch it every day, so
Okay.
very many.
And do you feel like you have a good understanding of what I'm trying to get at when I'm asking certain questions?
I think mostly yes. I'm not sure. Probably mostly yes.
Okay. Well, can you do for me the normal SI question that I asked at the beginning, which is to recount for me insignificant details from your day?
Okay. From this day,
If it depends what time it is where you are. If it's like 7 in the morning, then no, do yesterday.
it, it's 10 in the evening.
Okay, yeah, today's fine.
Okay, so from when I woke up.
Yeah.
Okay, but the problem is that today I was extra
Oh,
conscious of
oh,
this
okay.
because
So do yesterday then.
okay. Uh, um, I will not remember because I'm too nervous.
Okay, do today then.
Okay, today. So I woke up and I remember that I um, was thinking about my dream that I had, and then I forgot it. And um, then I realized that um, I'm kind of anxious because I about one particular problem right now in my life, and then I thought about it, and then I decided to um, send you money for these typing sessions because I realized that that would be kind of um, counter emotion, kind of excitement, which normally would be too strong,
Uh
and
huh.
this anxiety would is too strong as well, and they kind of cancel out each other. And I thought about this, and I said to myself, yes, this is the right time to have a typing session. But okay, so I send you the money, and then I um, checked what time is it in your country, and then um,
You emailed me about it. Okay, so I just want to say right off the bat that you have what I would consider one of a couple of forms of textbook intuitive look about you, which is to say, I
really
mean, the thing is, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but
okay.
I remember one time Taylor Flow State talked about somebody I was talking about, and I showed him a picture of the person. They said, wow, that person looks intuitive AF. You know, the thing is, there's this, like, this kind of big eyed, mischievous grin thing you got going on that's very intuitive looking. So, okay.
Okay.
Let me ask you about your media you consume other than YouTube videos. So, if you're watching TV shows or movies, what kind of stories do you like?
Okay. I never watch movies. That's a very strange fun fact about me. I don't know why that is, but like if I tell that to someone, they are really shocked, but I never never do. And then I um
What about books?
most books I read rarely, but if I read, I mostly read um non-fiction. But it's not that I don't like um fiction. I do, but I don't know. I just never kind of find time for that. If I want to, um, if I want some art, I don't choose books and I don't choose movies. I don't know why that is, but probably because it's
Do you
like
watch any
kind of
anime?
no, no. I have never watched an anime.
Do you What kind of TV shows or shorter kind of things do you watch?
I don't watch any. Oh wait, I do. But no, like YouTube. I mostly watch YouTube.
You mostly watch YouTube? You watch a lot of typology stuff. What do you watch when you're not watching typology stuff?
Okay, I watch. Um, I also listen to music sometimes, or I watch, for example, interviews with interesting people a lot.
Okay.
Or hmm, should
Uh,
I tell more things?
yeah, tell me more.
Okay. Any kind of channels of some person that I find interesting. It doesn't even have to be something that I'm interested in. For example, I find someone that deals with fashion, for example. I'm not so interested in fashion, but if they have some good ideas, then I like to watch this person talking about their ideas. And what else? Mm,
Is that
random
yours?
stuff.
Is that thing behind you on the shelf yours?
Which one?
That
This
red thing. Yeah, that
this
thing.
one.
Yeah.
It's yeah,
Is it your coffee cup? Yeah?
yes.
You have a Tommy's coffee cup? Is that like for Tommy's hamburgers?
I have no idea. I found it somewhere in my
That,
laptop.
that's okay. So what made you want to get that cup? Like what did you like about it?
Mm, I remember it was a long time ago, but I like liked it visually, but I do not like it anymore. I'm trying to find another cup that is the same size like this that I would like more because recently I realized that I want as little color in my room as possible. I even exchanged some stuff. For example, my flatmate was living in this room before me, and he painted it with this green, and he even did some green decorations on this side. So I um, sticked white paper over that because it was really annoying. I
Okay.
figured out that it's very distracting.
How long did it take you to realize you wanted to change the color scheme in there?
um, a lot, a lot.
So
Um,
you lived with it for a while before you realized that you didn't like it?
yes, yes. It was like um, I remember that I I with my ex boyfriend I went for a trip for 1 month to um somewhere doesn't matter, and I was away from here for 1 month, and when I came back here I realized after I was living in an empty space how anxious these all my surroundings make me feel. Like there is too much stuff and there is just like too much color, and I was so anxious, and within next week I just started to get rid of all this stuff and put it somewhere in the corridor, in the somewhere other places. And um yeah, but some time has passed and it's just like it was before, so I guess I have to do it again.
Okay. Can you talk to me about your sleeping habits? Do you go to bed at a regular time? Get up at a regular time? How many hours of sleep you
No.
need?
Okay, so no, nothing regular about my anything. um for example, yesterday I was awake the whole day, night, and day. And I don't know why, but I managed to get back on track, and I don't know how it will be after.
What were you
But
doing that whole time?
I was just like, I felt like I have lots of tasks to do, and it's making me anxious, and I should probably do them. So I was doing something on my computer, and
Did you have a burst of task completions?
Yes, kind of. Yeah.
Okay. And have you then reverted now to not doing things?
No, I don't know yet. I don't know. I
Okay.
don't know yet because I will see.
Okay. All right. So, can you solve the polluted oceans crisis for me?
So I should make a plan.
Yeah, make a plan to solve these polluted oceans crisis.
Okay. Um, can it be like very long-term plan?
Whatever you want to do.
Okay. Um, I think we should just let the society to do whatever until it crashes completely, and then we will realize how to live differently, and then since then, I think we will not
So your
want
solution
this.
is do nothing.
Yeah, yes, kind of.
Okay. Can you break the task of feeding the cat into exactly 4 steps?
Of feeding the cat. Okay, with these kind of questions, I never understand why are you asking for exactly 4 steps or so, but I can try.
Okay, try it.
Um, call the cat. Oh no, first we have to take out the cat food, then call the cat, put the cat food on the ground, and check on the cat so that she or he or it will eat the food.
Okay, interesting. How long does it take you when you listen to music, you hear a new song before you know whether it's going to be a song that you're going to keep and listen to again, or whether it's a song that's not going to stick around in your memory?
Um, I think this process of realizing this has 2 steps. First, I'm gonna hear the song, and right in the beginning, I will know if it has a chance or not. And then after maybe 7 or 8 listen, I will know if I'm excited about it or not. Or maybe, I don't know, it might come even later.
Interesting. Do you cook for yourself, or do you get fast food, or does somebody else cook for you?
I cook for myself usually.
When you cook, do you do all of the cooking and then clean up at the end, or do you clean up as you cook?
Um, I try to clean up as I go, but I think it's mostly because I have flatmate and I don't want someone to come to the kitchen and see my mess.
Is
So
that likely to happen?
yes, of course. We are 4 people in here, so
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So, do you try to cook things that make less of a mess as a consequence?
Oh no, no, not really.
Okay. Do you cook meals at regular times or just whenever you get hungry?
It depends. Like it really depends on what kind of phase in my life I'm in. Sometimes I have some kind of organized phase of my life, and then I do it regularly. I can, if I if I want to, or if I really want to, or if I really need to, I can be organized. But that doesn't happen a lot. So most of the time, it's just really random.
Okay. Let's say you have world mic power. Have you ever heard me ask this question before?
What kind of power?
World mic. World mic power means you have the microphone for 30 seconds, and
Ah,
whatever you say gets translated into every language and broadcast to every single person.
okay. I
What?
have heard it, but I haven't thought about it yet. So
Okay, can you hold that? Think about it for a second while I refill my coffee. I'll be right back.
I should say, or
I'm just going to refill my coffee. I'll be right back.
okay.
Okay, what advice do you have for the world?
Sorry.
I said, what advice do you have for the world?
Okay. Okay. Can I say just one thing? Maybe the thing, maybe everything that I answer, I would answer differently after I thought about it a lot, because I have a real problem thinking straight under pressure.
Okay.
So, but I can tell you several things that come to my mind.
Okay.
Maybe. Mm, it's really hard. Like, it's really hard to think under pressure, but uh, it's really hard. I don't know
Do
if
you
I
want me
can
to
do it.
give you choices?
Sorry?
I'll give you choices, and you tell me
Yes,
which one is
yes.
better and which one's worse, okay?
Mhm.
Advice number one is everybody needs to learn from their experience and remember things that have happened before so they don't repeat mistakes and have good knowledge to base their future experiences on. Or option number two is everybody needs to let go of their past so it doesn't hold them back and limit them and not get stuck in bad habits and bad memories.
Only two options.
Yeah.
I don't know if I prefer any of them. Um,
Okay.
are you testing for SI?
Well, yeah, I'm checking to see what kind of knowledge function
Uh-huh.
you project as the more universal problem, right? So if you're an NI Dom, you're more likely to project that attachment to the past is more of a problem. If you were an SI Dom, you'd be more likely to project that attachment to the that that failing to learn from the past is more of a problem, right? Or potentially
Mm,
tool function as well. So I'm checking to see how that plays out, I guess.
so the option number one was that the world should learn from the past,
That
and the
yeah, that when people have problems in their lives, often it will emerge from their failing to have learned from the past adequately. Whereas the other perspective is when people have problems in their lives, it's more likely to come from people being too attached to the past, too stuck in the past, or too limited by beliefs that they've adopted that they shouldn't have.
mm, I think if you recognize some kind of pattern in that happens to you regularly, you should kind of learn from it. But if you have a single experience of something, in the past.
Okay, sure. That's a very nuanced answer. Okay. What do you think is more important as a piece of advice for the world? Be kind or be fair?
Um, can you tell me some examples? Maybe. Oh, I don't know. Is it possible to tell me some examples?
Sure. Like somebody's committed a crime, but there's some extenuating circumstances. Being kind would say, well, let's cut them some slack. Being fair would say, well, we can't cut them some slack unless we cut everybody some slack for the same thing.
So the first option would be to
To mitigate.
forgive him and do nothing with him.
No, I'm saying in the first option, you're less fair. In other words, you take special cases more as special cases, which makes you less fair, but enables you to be more merciful in some regard. That, in other words, if people have special circumstances, then maybe you're not going to give them the same punishment as people who don't. But the people who don't then have good reason to complain that you're not being fair to them. In the other situation, you treat everybody the same, but then you have to make some hard decisions about being harsh with people who you feel bad, but you have to be harsh with them.
I think I don't care about fairness too much, only when it applies to me. I do care about kindness. I would never want to punish someone unless he hurt me. So I don't know.
Okay. Let's see. Let me ask you some TI questions. We'll see how we do with those.
Okay.
If only penguins like cheese, and I like cheese, am I necessarily a penguin?
Yes.
If all turkeys say gobble, and I'm a turkey, do I necessarily say gobble?
No.
If no potatoes have eyes, and I don't have eyes, am I necessarily a potato?
No.
Who is my mother's father's wife in relationship to me?
My mother's father's wife is my grandmother.
Right. Okay. If either A or B, then C, and not C, what can we conclude?
We can conclude that nor A nor B.
Yeah, you're right. That's some pretty solid, rock solid TI there. Okay, so describe yourself in relationship to doing and task completion.
Okay. Generally, right? Any kind of task completion.
Yeah.
And I should say the process, like in steps.
No, I want to know how you self identify. Like, tell the story of you as you relate to the topic of task completion. You're writing an autobiography of yourself and say, so
Okay.
this is how I personally relate to task completion.
Okay. I'm terrible at task completion, and it's just the worst thing ever. I cannot get myself to complete any task, and if I finally start, then I wait, unless I'm really excited about the task. Yeah.
Okay.
So, um, if I finally start to do the task, I usually, even if I say to myself not to take it in a perfectionistic way, I usually do, and that usually causes me to fail this task.
Okay.
Um,
Do you do creative stuff? Writing, music, painting, stuff like that?
Painting.
Painting? And do you complete a lot of paintings or do you have trouble completing them?
No, like, listen, this is my worst problem ever in my life. Like, really, like, I'm even embarrassed to say that I paint because I've been painting for and trying hard to for years. But if someone says to me, "So show me something you painted," I have nothing to show, and it's so frustrating. It's really the biggest problem in my life right now. It
Have you
feels
complete
my.
have you completed things and then lost those paintings, or have you just not completed anything that you're satisfied to show
No,
people?
I cannot complete it. I cannot complete it. I even I s- I tried to figure out what the problem is. I tried to um note down for some time every obstacle that came in my way that prevented me from completing something. And I ended up with a list of all kinds of obstacles, but I don't know what the problem is still.
Okay.
Like this, as I've learned about MBTI and cognitive functions, and I identified myself as something. I don't know if you want to
No,
know
don't tell
what.
me. Don't tell me. No,
Sorry,
no, don't tell me.
something.
Don't tell me.
Okay, that helped me a lot to understand.
Okay. Can you tell me about what makes a song good or bad?
um, hmm.
What's going through your mind right there?
um, it's I don't know,
Is it
like
words?
words? No, ideas, like ideas, and then I don't know which of them to choose, or each of them is valid, and now which of them is the right one? I don't know. Um,
What are some ideas you had that you thought that came up, like idea buds or whatever, that you
yeah, okay,
didn't choose?
several, like at least three at the time. So, for example, I wanted to start to answer it, or I was considering to start to answer this by generalizing it not only for the song, but for art or piece of art in general. And I was thinking in the moment that maybe there is the answer, like, and then I was thinking, or at the same time, I was thinking that is like, is there such thing as determining whether the piece of art is good or bad? But immediately I replied to myself, yes, there is. But at the same time, I realized that's an unpopular opinion, probably. But I do think there is a way to tell whether something is good or bad. But you can tell it in two ways at least. You can brainstorm bunch of criteria um, for a quality of artwork, or you can also like there is an NI or an NE way to answer, right?
Right, sure.
And you can know the answer, but if I knew the answer, or I wouldn't be able to define it, or maybe I would be able, but it would take me a lifetime.
Okay.
So the only thing I can really do is either think about it for at least a lifetime, or I can brainstorm a bunch of criteria that make the song or a piece of art good. But I don't know if I can do it right now. I don't know.
Okay, well, that's okay. Can Rachel, can you chat with this young lady for a little bit while I go pee and get your own thoughts about her type? I have to pee. So I also like to get Rachel's input on these things because
Okay.
she's got good instincts as well. What haven't I asked her about yet? Maybe ask her about her relationship with socializing. I haven't asked that at all. Maybe I shouldn't have put it on there. Yeah, that seems fine.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm fine. And you?
Good, I'm good. So I would like to ask you a little bit about your social life. What is it like?
Okay, I spend a lot of time alone. I have a problem socializing. Um, I know that I should socialize because it's healthy, and even if I spend too much time alone, for example, for a month or something, I don't socialize much. Then I realize I am getting really lonely, and it's and then I try to force myself to go out, but sometimes I don't even then I do not go. And if I go out somewhere, usually I'm disappointed. It takes a lot of my energy, and sometimes when I meet people, they cross my boundaries a lot, and then afterwards I think about it, and I try to figure out how to not let it happen again.
So, would you say that you are. So, it sounds like you're pretty comfortable being alone.
Yes, very much, very, very much.
Are there things that you like to do on your own time? Any hobbies like reading or painting, anything like
Yeah,
that?
most of the time I'm just thinking, and I also like to do painting. I paint basically, but I'm not very successful at it because I have a trouble finishing a painting. But I gather ideas and do some sketches, and my favorite activity is honestly just look out of the window and gather some ideas and think and journal and yeah, stuff like that.
That's very active for the mind. It's good. Well, I think it's good anyway. So you mentioned boundaries.
Mhm.
Are you the type of person who has to, over time, learn about boundaries? Like, after several times of someone doing something that, say, you don't really like, um, do you set a boundary, or does it, are you like right away, like, I know myself, I, this is a boundary of mine, and I'm not going to let anyone cross it?
Um, I do let people cross it, but I think I learn like as the time goes. Like in the past, I used to let people cross my boundaries a lot, but I've learned. I've learned. For example, sometimes I do let people cross them, but I feel like I have learned a lot. And with some people, it's easier to keep them. Um, and with some people, it's not. It's like I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, with some yes, with some no. Usually, if the person is new to me, like I haven't known them before, it's harder to keep the boundaries.
I can totally relate to that.
Do you?
Yes.
Um,
I think
yeah.
that was enough for
Okay.
now. Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Keep in mind that her TI is slamming. Her TI is like super quick, right on point. So, factor that in with whatever other analysis you have. And I'll ask you at the end what you think she is, and I'll reveal what I think she is and see if we agree, okay?
Alright.
We'll play Dave and Shan. I'll be Dave, you can be Shannon. Okay, how do you feel emotionally right now?
Okay. I feel a lot of, first of all, relief because I was really excited and nervous about this typing session. And now I feel relieved kind of because it's already started and it's fine. Second of all, I feel really excited about this typing session. And I feel really, really excited about how I'm gonna watch it afterwards. And I feel really, really curious about what you will think my type is.
Okay.
And I feel really glad also that I'm distracted right now from other problems in my life by this excitement, basically. And I also feel really, but not that I,
Would have been annoying if you hadn't been able to have it today, huh?
if I wasn't able to have it today,
Yeah.
well, how would I feel?
I said that would have been annoying, I guess.
Um, it would be like the only problem would be I cannot schedule things in advance. I have a real problem with it because yeah, that's why I was so excited that you agreed on today because it only works for me when people arrange stuff with me spontaneously. If this typing session was 3 days from now, that would be like I would be too nervous, too excited, to this and that, and I would think about it a lot. And
Uh,
at the end, it happens to me that I cancel stuff because of I don't know why, but if I schedule in advance, I cancel, and if I don't schedule in advance, I just go.
That's funny. Okay, so how do you think I feel emotionally right now?
Um, I think you are quite focused and quite interested in like you are not bored, I think.
No, I'm not. It's interesting that, but this particular work that I'm doing is one of the few things I can imagine doing that is consistently interesting almost every time. I mean, sometimes I'll get in a certain mood and I'll get a particularly boring person, but
Really?
very rarely, very rarely.
Okay.
So the thing is, this work ends up proving more permanently interesting than most things do. You know, other things you get tired of them, but if you're constantly talking to new individual people that you've not talked to before and getting to know them stuff, it's like this endlessly new and interesting thing that refreshes itself. So
You seem really, really passionate about this, and that's one of the things that makes me trust you in this and admire you for this work. Like that's one of the reasons why I want to get signed by you, because I trust passionate people. Not all of them, but in combination with AI,
it's tricky.
great.
It's like people do need to be sort of committed to what they're doing, but sometimes that can, if with a certain stack, means that they don't factor in whether or not they're correct, just outcomes they can measure or something, you know.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to ask a couple of sort of traditional NE questions just to verify what I already fully suspect to be true. But can you give me some possible reasons why Mexico should invade Texas?
Why Mexico should invade Texas? They should do it to have some training, because if there's some need to fight, they should be able to have this ability, and from time to time they need to train it.
Good
That's
practice.
first.
Okay, sure.
Yes. They should also own this country, because it's better to be bigger than smaller.
Okay.
They should invade them because they should steal some resources and use them. And they should also invade them to speed up the process of the world crashing down and then raising up again.
Oh, so much like your solution to ocean pollution. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And they should what else?
let it go to hell in a handbasket, and then we'll rebuild from scratch, huh? Okay.
Yes.
So I am as convinced as I can be based on those test results that you're an ENTP.
ENTP.
What do you think you are?
ENTP?
Yeah, that's what I think you are.
How can I be an extrovert? Really? I don't think I'm an extrovert.
Okay. Well, so do you think you're an INTP? Do you think you're
Should I tell you?
Yeah, tell me what you think you are.
INFP.
You think you're INFP?
Mm-hmm.
Rachel, what do you think I forgot to ask you. What do you think this person is? She thinks she's an INFP. Do you think she's an INFP?
There was a point when I thought, yeah.
You did?
Yeah. But, her TI.
Your TI is so good, though. But I've said it before, this is a problem with INFPs, can sometimes show a really impressive TI. So, I mean, that's possible. Why do you think you're an INFP? Is it just because you're introverted, or is it some other reason?
I took this test like 2 years ago, the regular sheet test that there is, and I didn't know anything about cognitive functions and about my MBTI, and it turned out to be INFP. I read the description, I completely agreed with it, then I started to learn more about it. I started to learn about cognitive functions. I gradually agreed with, oh my God, everything. I related so much. And the more I know, the more I relate. And
The more you
I
relate to
was,
what? INFP?
yes. And then I took the test by Eric Thor,
Uh-huh.
and it turned out to be INFJ, but I don't think I am INFJ. I don't know. And but I was ready to receive like any other result, because I know it can be surprising sometimes, but I really don't think I'm an extrovert. I
Okay.
don't know. But the TI thing is that okay. Um, when I watch your videos, my favorite questions are TI. I take it as a kind of a game. Like if you are testing someone for TI, I'm like all ready to answer for myself and try to.
I've noted this plenty of times before that, and I've said exactly that when INFPs get to do TI stuff as a game, in which nothing really matters, they can
Yes,
display incredibly good at it. My friend Liz is an example who answers
but
TI
if
questions like you do, and she's an INFP.
if it's really a hard question, like the difficult one, then I just lose interest and I get not bored, but I get overwhelmed and I cannot do it. Um, I only use it for for game really. Also, I like to um, debate with people and find some um, what's it called in English? Some mistakes in their
Okay.
logic, but just for fun. And I like also to correct grammar or correct these
What do you
things.
think about the statement, emotions get stuck in the body?
Mm, yes. Um, uh, yes, of course, like there shouldn't be unresolved emotions. Of course, it backfires. Mm,
Of course, it gets stuck in the body.
in the body. Mm, I think it does, but I'm not someone who would say this sentence. Probably, I'm all about resolving emotions and yes, like paying attention to emotions,
How
I
do you
think, but
resolve an emotion?
I constantly resolve emotions by um, sitting and feeling the emotion. I
Okay.
do it all the time, and I also journal about this emotion.
Okay.
And
All
yeah,
right. All right. So here's the deal. If I were going to make a big mistake, like typing you as an ENTP when you were actually an INFP, it would be probably because you're. It would be I'd mistype an INFP or something because I'm bad at telling FI.
I
So
know, I know, I know.
so
Yes, yes, I know.
I can look for FE and I can see confirmations of it here and there, and then I see an absence of it some places, and I try to go, well, where do I see more of presence of it or absence of it? But I can't really identify what FI looks like.
I know, I noticed this. I saw some of your videos of FI dominant people, and you even admitted that. Oh yeah, you sometimes do this that you cannot identify FI. And I was always thinking, oh my God, once I get tied by you, maybe you will not be able to
Okay, well,
identify.
I mean, the thing is, when you talk about that, sitting and feeling through your emotions and feel and sit with them or
Mhm.
whatever, that's a classic sense of, I guess you'd say, F awareness that an ENTP typically won't have unless they've studied emotions a lot. If you were to ask me that question, how does one process their emotions? I would say, well, I've heard it said that one needs to sit with them and sort of feel them out. And I kind of agree with that. That's how I process my feelings. It takes me a long time to process my feelings. If I have a feelings-based question about how should I feel about something, it means I'm feeling something, and I'm trying to determine whether that's the right thing to feel, basically. It takes a long time. So I get it, but most ENTPs aren't, like, you're not as old as me, obviously. So if you were an ENTP, I wouldn't expect you to have that nuanced relationship with your feelings. So it makes more sense that you're right, that you're an INFP. And I just don't see the FI. You don't make me nervous. Like, usually INFPs make me nervous. I don't know. You also seem happier than most INFPs.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends. If you saw me maybe some other time, it depends. Like, it depends on. Also, when I'm talking with someone I don't really know, and like, if I was now with someone that's close to me, I wouldn't seem happy.
Okay.
This is like an affect or something. I was trying to
Would you be saying?
prepare for this.
Would you be saying to that person, I was hoping we could spend some time together?
To which person?
Whomever. I think of INFPs as saying that sentence.
Depends on who that is.
Depends on if you really were hoping to spend some time with them. Okay, yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think you're an INFP, and I feel kind of embarrassed for feeling quite confident about my typing of you, but that just what happened there is I made a mistake I need to learn from, which is just because somebody's razor sharp on TI, you cannot eliminate INFPs from the equation. Because they'll sometimes come in and throw a wrench into your TI reduction there. Because it's true that almost everybody who answers those TI questions like you did is first or second slot. But it's also true that I only asked a few of them, and I didn't ask ones that required a lot of complicated parsing out, but just good application of TI on the spot. And so it's important to remember that the TI questions are somewhat limited in what they can definitively tell me, and I have to remember that INFPs can sneak in there and make me look like a fool.
In this a little bit, because I watched all of your videos, and when you start to do the TI question, I immediately start to focus, like right in the beginning when you start the question, and I razor focus on every word, and I think, and at the end I just know the answer. But I don't use logic for making decisions, I think.
I believe you. I think you've got yourself typed correctly, and it's like the main reason is you have a confidence about you when talking about your feelings that I just have to go, okay, there's that she's got that particular kind of measuring instrument that I don't have that lets her understand questions about this and provide answers about this in a more nuanced way than I really would and any other ENTP would. So, and then since there's basically no other possible thing that you could be, since only INFPs have good that quick and good TI and aren't first or second slot. So that's
I'm probably not INFJ, right? Like, there's no way it's there.
No. The reason you're not INFJ is this. When you're asked a question about the, like, what makes a song good, you do what any type people do, any one or two, which is this framework stuff. Okay, well, what framework should I answer this question under? Whereas NI is much more, it requires to some extent that a frame of reference be determined, and so it provides it provides much more of an answer within the frame you present rather than challenging the frame you present or specifically articulating the absence of a frame that's presented, which is what you do. So there are two things you do that prove your SI type for me pretty definitively. One, you ask for examples to better understand things, which NI types almost never do. And also, number two, you do that NE thing where you're trying to figure out which frame of reference you want. You have too many possible ways to approach the question, and it causes you to pause and think, rather than trying to collapse everything down into a singularity, which is the other direction, and it looks very different. So you're definitely an NESI type, not an NI.
Yeah, I think so, because I feel like I start to solve any problem by brainstorming, like automatically. I just
Yeah, that's why you never get anything done. That's right. And your answers about SE are textbook SE polar answers, but it's I got carried away with the TI results.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. So do you want me to share this with you privately, or are you okay with me publishing?
Can you do both?
Yes, I can do both. Sure. I think.
Can I please ask you to not put my face on the thumbnail?
Not put your face on the thumbnail? Can I just not make a thumbnail and just go with the auto thumbnail?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so it'll show a little bit of your face, but it won't be all like highlighted for everybody, okay?
Okay.
All right, cool. All right, thanks then.